already know who it is. Y'all know it's your favorite girl from the 504. Y'all know I am tapping in with y'all tonight. You know what? Hold on. Let me change this color because I needed to reflect with what I got on tonight. Let me change this because what we're talking about tonight is violence. Oh, there we go. I had to turn it to blue. I should have, but I forgot. But it's cool. It's okay. I done fixed it. We good. Now we ready. But y'all already know it's your girl Ash, and I'm checking in with y'all tonight. Y'all, welcome back to Black Girl Interrupted. Man. I told y'all I was gonna stay consistent with my show. I told y'all that I was like, y'all just had to work with me. Y'all just had to let me go through what I was going through, but I'm back. Um, and I told y'all I'm bringing some great topics to the show. We're gonna be talking about some phenomenal things throughout the season. But y'all already know how I start my show. Y'all already know I have to like it's a must that I always do my mental health check-in. Because I want to know how y'all are feeling. I know um times get rough, things get dark, things get dim, and you feel like you don't know what to do. You feel like you just can't go on. So I always, y'all know I always do my mental health check-ins. I always have to make sure y'all are good mentally. I have to make sure you're good emotionally, spiritually. Y'all already know because y'all have seen me on my journey. Y'all know my story. Y'all have seen me through the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. But now I have finally gotten into my space of happiness, and that's back doing my podcast. So love y'all again. I appreciate all the continuous support that I get on every show that I bring y'all. So y'all already know how I get started. Hold up, I have a couple of comments. Let's see. There go my baby. Hey, Kara. That's my girl, y'all. So let me tell y'all, me and Kara work together. Baby, when I tell you I love her so much, but they're gonna stop playing with my girl on their phone though. And people gonna stop playing with her. I promise you. Oh, snap! There go my boy Robert. Hey! Oh my God, Robert, I'm so happy to see you. Let me tell you, we gotta connect. Like I miss you so much. I'm so glad to see you. I haven't seen you since last year. So happy new year. Hope your 2023 is going beautiful for you. Kara says, I love the lips. Thank you, honey. Mwah. Ooh, I had to do the blue tonight. Because I'm talking about, talking about men, black teenagers that are being gunned down, gun violence, like enough is enough. So there go my big sis. Hey, sissy, boo, I love you, boo. Hold up. Y'all know I don't know how to do this. Y'all know my fingers is crazy. Oh, my sis say that blue popping. I know it. Uh-oh. Hey, BB. She's talking about, yes, black girl, it's a girl, you better know it. Let me tell y'all. So I'm doing my mental health check-in. Y'all already know. So let me tell y'all. So Sunday, I went to the cemetery to see my dad, y'all, and I have not been since last year. This is actually the second time I've been to the cemetery since my father passed away. And I like instantly, like as soon as I was getting ready to leave the cemetery, like I instantly, like immediately had an anxiety attack. Um, and I think it's because it's starting to settle in. Yeah, it's been 2 years since my father passed away, but it's really now just starting to like the dust is really starting to settle. Like it's real. So yesterday wasn't I pushed through yesterday, but today it was just like it was one of those days I just needed a moment where I just had to collectively pull everything together. But once I realized, you know what, Ashley, you about to get into your safe space, you about to do your show tonight, what you talking about is gonna be powerful. So I had to pull it together. Like I had to shake it off and I had to say, you know what, my dad is proud of me. My father is so elated at how far I've come, with how far I've grown and matured as a woman. So um I'm gonna continue to carry my father with me. Every time I look in the mirror, I see his face. So he's not far. He's not gone. He may be gone in physical, but I know he's still here in spirit. Um Robert says it's going very well in Florida, making moves, trying to really get things rolling. Let me tell you, boo, I am so proud of you. Whatever it is, God is gonna make a way for you. I promise that's what He's gonna do. So you going, regardless of how many obstacles and brick walls you run into. Get back up, dust yourself off, and keep going, babe. Because guess what? The marathon is going to always continue. So, shout out to you. Good to see you tonight. And BB says, I love you for that. I'm so proud of you, and I love you. I am here. He is definitely proud of you. Absolutely. But I want to say thank you, BB, for just even letting me just, for you just even walking me through my anxiety attack because like it was done. Like I was done, but um, it's starting to settle. Like the dust is really starting to settle. It's really starting to sink in. And yeah, my dad is gone. And I think really what hurt the most is because on Sundays I would always call, Daddy, what you doing? Daddy, what's going on? And he'd be like, oh, I just got in from church, about to email a dinner, and we would talk and everything. So I think that really set me back because I missed those conversations. I missed it was a lot of things that weren't said before my father passed away, but I know he hears me now. I know he sees me. And I know he's just like, Daddy love you. So I'm good. I'm better. Um, and like I said, y'all know I'm always gonna try to uplift, encourage, and empower, regardless of whatever it is that you're going through. I'm gonna always pour into you. Um, I'm gonna always love you regardless, but I always, at the end of the day, I want to see everybody win, regardless of whatever it is that you're going through. I want to see you push through because I know what it's like to sit in those dark places. I know what I know what that feels like. But guess what? I keep going. I keep going. I keep going, and I just keep going, and that's all I do because no weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. Trust and believe that. Mm, whew, y'all, I go through it, but guess what? I get through it. I may go through it, but I get through it, regardless of how heavy my storm is. I still, um, and I do it. I do it. I do it because I know I can. And like I told y'all the last time, you can only be celebrated in the light and not in the dark. So if you want to be celebrated and you want to enjoy, you sometimes you have to come out of the dark and into the light. So I love being in the light. So y'all not about to have me crying on here tonight. Woo, y'all not about to get me started. Y'all not about to do it, okay? I'm not playing with y'all. So Brittany says, girl, I got you. You are my heart, and I will walk through this with you and hold your hand until you are ready to let go. Didn't I tell you y'all not gonna do me like this tonight? Nope, nope, nope. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I love y'all. Nope, nope, nope. Hey, boo boo. It's good to see you. Hey, my baby. Oh, my sister says, I told you that you would know when you're ready to visit your dad. It's an unexplainable push and it comes from the soul. And sis, when I tell you, um, I had to stop and I had to go back. Like I had to go back to his grave. I had to go back and I had to get back out of the car. I had to talk to him. I had to look at him. I had to let him know that my presence, that I'm there. Even though he's not here in the physical, because as I left the cemetery, that's his body that's in that hole. But his soul and his spirit is right here with me. So although I cannot talk to him in the physical realm, I can always talk to him in the spiritual realm because I know he hears me, I know he sees me, and I could just see his smile right now. You know, I look just like him. So I wish I had the picture. I should have had a picture, but it's okay. Kara says you shine, and guess what? It took me a long time to get back into this light. Like it took me a long time, but I had to stop and I had to realize that I was living my own life. I was playing with my own potential. And I had to really sit down and I had to realize what is my purpose? What does God want me to do? And so getting back into my podcast, I'm the voice. I'm the voice for the voiceless, for the ones that are afraid to talk about uncomfortable conversations because I want everyone to heal. Men, women, I want all of us to heal. I want everyone to glow. I want you to shine. I want everyone to do it. I want everyone to know that you are your greatest no matter where you are in life. Stop looking at everyone as a competition. Stop trying to compete with people because everyone's race and path is going to look different from yours. You don't know what that person went through to get to where they are, but just stay focused. Don't ever give up. So y'all already know. Drop in the comments again. I'm continuing to do my mental health check-in. For those that are new to the show, Welcome to Black Girl Interrupted. Black Girl Interrupted, let me tell you, was a space that I created for me to be safe. It was my safe space. It started out with, me going on my journey for healing, mending fences with my children, um, and forgiving myself for a lot of things, not only that I did to me, but to my children. My babies had to go through a lot, and I had to stand in all of that. I had to mend and fix the repair. So here I am, almost 2 years later, um, and I'm still rolling. Yes, I did stop because I allowed my depression to take over, but I can't let it win because that's only the devil. And he only comes to kill and destroy. And he only preys on the weak, but I have to let him know every day how strong I am. I'm covered. And God says, trust and believe, baby. I'm going to open whatever door you won't open. You just have to be patient. So here we go. So Robert says, I got a couple of podcast ideas in the making, with one actually having episodes um, one worked on. I have a subtext that I post my philosophies and expanded thoughts on to stimulate thought. I love it. I would definitely love to collaborate with you on some things. Robert, let me say this and then I'm going to go ahead and jump into the show. I'm actually putting together a panel. BB, I have to get with you um, and let you know because we're going to do it on a Saturday. But relationship panel where women are listening to the men are listening to the women, because we want to know what have we done in relationships that men don't like, and we want to express that to you. Just a healthy dialogue, a beautiful discourse, um, and listen, because communication is key, especially when it comes to relationships. Because, honey, some of us don't know when to shut up. Some of us we don't know. We just don't know. And then too, we also don't take into consideration how relationships affect our children because they're watching. They're watching. Our children are watching. So BB says, I'm already ready. She says, yes, that's gonna be a great conversation. Girl, I'm gonna beat you down, girl. And Robert says, I'm for it. Okay. Send me your email, Robert, so I can email you so we can get together and we can go from there. So y'all already know how I start my show. Y'all know I always play and post something motivational and inspirational. Of course, y'all know it's the same video, but I'm gonna switch it up because I did find another video that I like. Um, and I don't know, y'all. It just had me a little emotional. I ain't ready to start crying yet. But here we go. And then after the video, we jumping into tonight's conversation. So hold tight. Here we go.
I want to encourage somebody out there who's thinking about quitting and giving up. Somebody who has been praying for years for things to turn around. You're thinking about quitting. You're thinking about giving up. You are folding. You are caving in. This is for you.
You're in this storm and you're down on your knees and you're cold and you're weak and you feel like this is the end. You have a choice to either give up or keep going. Give up or get up.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Stay in it. Stay focused.
When you fail, try again and again and again. You just take one step at a time.
It's hard, but it's worth fighting. It's worth believing. It's worth mustering yourself up, standing up inside yourself. It's worth fighting relentlessly, never giving up. I love the sun, but things don't grow because of the sun. You have to have some rain. And you've got to stop looking at rain in your life as something bad. My greatest moments didn't come from my greatest moments. My greatest moments came from my greatest defeats. Because it was during my defeat that I had to find a way to get back up. You thought for 1 minute that you broke me. You got me twisted. I am not phenomenally skilled, but phenomenally willed. I will not give up. I will not surrender. I will not quit. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop running towards your dream. Stay encouraged. Stay encouraged. Keep your head up. Stick your chest out. Continue to walk with pride. And know if it was easy, everybody would do it. It's not going to be easy, but we have what it takes. Their rough times are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. Don't say I'm having a bad day. Say I'm having a character building day. Don't look at night as darkness. Look at night as a new beginning.
I don't think y'all really understand how powerful that video is to me because I have to stay encouraged. I have to stay empowered in order to continue on my journey, in order to stay on my in my purpose. So when I first found that video, y'all, it moved me to tears because I was like, damn, this came at like one of my darkest moments when I found this video, and I was like, here I am, I'm giving up. I've helped so many people, and I'm not realizing what my podcast has done for people. Why am I walking away from this? This is something that I created for me to be safe. But I also created because I wanted to encourage someone else. I wanted to empower someone else. I wanted to uplift someone else because I wanted you to know that regardless of whatever it is that you go through, don't give up. God gives his hardest test to his strongest soul. So I want you to always remember that regardless, and I say this, don't ever give up. I know giving up is the easiest thing to do, but getting back up is the hardest thing to do. You have to always remember that. Okay. Cara says, I love it. You gotta have that ring and you gotta dance in it. Robert says, I'm loving it. That video is so powerful. It's a beautiful thing because you have to speak positivity over yourself in order to get positive results. You are whatever you put out into the universe. So remember that. So if you speak negatively over yourself, guess what? That's what you're gonna get back in return. So I love y'all. Again, thank y'all so much for joining your girl tonight. But I need to go ahead and jump into tonight's conversation. But when I tell y'all, when I saw this story come across my timeline the other day, I thought about my and I said, that could have been my that could have been a nephew, that could have been a cousin, that could have been a friend's child. This baby, y'all, 16 years and was shot twice for knocking on the wrong door. So tonight's conversation, we're talking about black teens and gun violence. When will it end? We see this all far too often. We have had 200, did they say 200? What did they say? 264? No, I'm so sorry. 164 mass shootings since January 1 of 2020. And we're just 4 months and 18 days, 17 days. 160. I want to say they said 164. I could be wrong. But when is enough going to be enough? We're not safe at church. We're not safe at school. We're not safe at the malls. We're not safe in the movie theaters. You would think church of all places would be safe. We're not safe in the grocery store. Where are we going to be safe? When? When is it going to end? We're worried about the police killing us, but now we got people out here that are killing. Yes, I know y'all are gonna say, "Oh, but we're killing each other." Gun violence, period. When is it gonna end? Do y'all not realize that there are more guns in the world than there are people? Go figure. I'm all for the right to bear arms, so I don't want anyone to feel like I'm against it because I'm for the right to bear arms. I'm for that. But I want to talk about these people that are not mentally stable. They're going into school. They're going into the mall. You're not even safe at work without the fear of somebody coming in and taking your life. When is it gonna end? When is it gonna end? Let me take a deep breath because this story here was so heartbreaking. Definitely a heartbreaking story. So I want to jump in tonight talking about Ralph Yarl. For many that don't know, Ralph Yarl, 16 years old from Liberty, Missouri, was shot twice. On Saturday, he was picking up his twin brothers, um, knocked on the wrong door, was shot through the door that he knocked on, the man came, shot through the door, then opened the door and proceeded to shoot this baby again. Again. He was shot in the head, they said by his eye, and he was shot in the arm. But people are saying, what would you do if someone came knocking at your door at 10 o'clock in the morning? My first reaction is not to shoot, not to shoot. This baby's 16 years old. I mean, if you look at him, let me show you. This is Ralph Yarl. Does he look like somebody that was coming to cause trouble or confusion? He knocked at the wrong door. He had the addresses mixed up and was shot by this gentleman right here. 84-year-old Andrew Lester. Shot him one time through the door, then opened the door while this baby was laying on the ground and shot him again. 84-year-old Andrew Lester. This is the gentleman that shot Ralph Yarl. It was 10 o'clock. It was like 9 something at night. He was he was picking up his twin brother. And once I rolled the video, he had the streets confused. So the street that he should have been on, I believe, was like 2 blocks away. So he knocked on the incorrect door. This man immediately grabbed his gun. He fired through the door, opened the door, shot this baby again at point blank range, and told him, "Don't come around here no more." So let me see. Can you hear me now? Is that better? Let me pull the microphone a little closer. Can you hear me now? Is that a little better? But I want to say it was about 10 o'clock at night. I want to say it was 10 o'clock at night. Can you hear me now, Robert? I probably had to move my microphone a little closer. But here we go. Um, so he says, I heard about this story though. BS, more BS. Absolutely, because I'm not thinking at 10 o'clock at night that someone, I get it. This man was older. And again, this is not making an excuse. I get it. 84 years old. Who is knocking at the door at 10 o'clock at night? But you're not thinking about grabbing a gun either. So, okay, just wanted to make sure that I was better. I think because I'm sitting back, but I pull the microphone a little closer. I try to keep because I don't want it in front of me because y'all won't be able to see my face because the microphone is a little big. But we're gonna keep it going. You just let me know. So Jules says it's by God's grace and mercy that this young man is still alive and finally home. I just thank God that this evil ass demon didn't succeed in taking his life. Absolutely. And then the saddest part about all of this is no one wanted to help this baby. So there was a 911 caller, and the dispatcher said, don't go outside because we don't know if it's an active shooter. But salute to this woman who will only be identified as Jody for staying out there with this young man until paramedics arrived. So shout out to you, Jody, for being this young man's angel because this could have went a completely different way. Um, this this baby could have lost 16 years. He got confused and then was shot. You shot him first through the door. Then you opened the door and you shot him again. So you're welcome, babe. You're welcome, sweetie. So Jules says his ass should be arrested and charged with attempted murder. So we're gonna get into. So let me say this: he has been arrested. He has been charged with first degree um, assault, which is punishable up to 25 to life. In Missouri, that's the highest. It's almost like attempted murder, but see, when it comes to attempted murder, you have to prove that this was premeditated. You have to prove that he did this with intent. So again, in Missouri, because I spoke with a couple of people that reside in Missouri, and they say that this is actually the highest charge. It's almost like second degree murder. So without it being, and you have a better chance of securing a conviction because you don't want him overcharged. Because we saw what happened with Trayvon Martin. They overcharged George Zimmerman, and guess what happened? George Zimmerman got the walk, and Trayvon Martin is still dead. So, Kara said, sorry, I thought it was 10 in the morning. Just don't answer the door that late. 84-year-old man should be in a bed. I agree, Jewel. Absolutely. But it was what he said because there were two accounts. And they said the reason that they did not initially file charges was because they were waiting on a statement from Ralph Yarl. So you mean to tell me, what if this baby wouldn't have made it? Would you have pressed charges? Would charges still have been filed? That's the $1 million. That's what I want to know. But they said the reason that they arrested him they detained him that night. He was released the same night, but they didn't technically arrest him because they were waiting on a statement from Ralph Yarl. Again, what if this baby wouldn't have made it? And it took for the community. And this is what I say to people all the time. When community steps in, the community went and protested and they rallied until this man was arrested, until charges were filed and this man was arrested. So shout out to the community of Liberty, Missouri, who pulled together. White, black, Asian, Hispanic was all out there marching, protesting in front of Andrew Lester's home until he was arrested and finally charged. So he was charged with, he has two charges. I know the first one is aggravated. I'll play the video, y'all, because I can't remember off the top of my head. But so Jules says we all know if that role was reversed and it was a black man shooting a white kid, his ass would have been arrested that night. Different strokes for different folks. So what you're saying, Jules, is accurate because that was part of the reason that the charges were filed because they did feel like there was a racial component because of what Andrew Lester said to Ralph Yarl after he shot him. So Kara says, I'm happy you're speaking on this because I have not heard this whole story. When I tell you, Kara, this here, it really broke my heart because had this have been a white man that shot I'm so sorry, a black man that shot a white kid, he would have been arrested that night. No questions asked. Wouldn't have been waiting on no statement. He would have been arrested that night. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna roll the video for those that are just tuning in that do not know the story. I'm speaking about 16-year-old Ralph Yarl, who 16 years old was shot in Liberty, Missouri. I believe it was on Saturday. Um, as he went to pick up his siblings, he knocked on the wrong door. He had the addresses confused and was shot 2 times. The first time he was shot through the door, through the glass door, and Mr. Andrew Lester opened the door when Ralph was down on the ground and proceeded to shoot this young man again. So hold tight. Here we go, and then we're gonna continue on with the conversation.
The family of a black teenager shot in the head in Kansas City, Missouri, has hired 2 well-known civil rights attorneys. Police have not released the name of the young person, but his family and attorneys say he is 16-year-old Ralph Yarl. Police say he was trying to pick up his younger siblings last week when he went to the wrong address. After ringing the doorbell, he was then shot by the owner of the home. The family's lawyers say that owner is a white man. Police would not confirm Yarl's injuries, but his aunt wrote online that the teenager was shot in the head, and while lying on the ground, she says he was shot a second time. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa joins us now. Maggie, the homeowner was arrested and I understand released after 24 hours. What's the latest?
Yeah, I think actually the terminology is the homeowner was taken into custody, and that's a really important stipulation, police say, because they say they're investigating this case. But under Missouri law, the homeowner, who they have yet to name, they have yet to give any identifying details about, that person can only be held for 24 hours until being arrested and charged. And they say the main holdup in this case right now is that they don't have a statement from the victim, from the 16-year-old boy who was shot in this case, because he's in the hospital recovering from those gunshot wounds. So once, basically per his condition, he's able to give that statement, give his side of what happened. Police say this investigation, which they promised to be fast and thorough, that's when they expect it to really move forward in that substantial way. So we'll wait and see when that happens, Kate.
And Maggie, how is the community responding to all of this?
Yeah, Kate, as you can imagine, when people heard basically that this happened Thursday night, and here we are now on Monday, and there is yet to be an arrest. There is yet to be a shooter named in this case. You can see we saw protests over the weekend there, hundreds at that one. They are furious, and they are demanding justice in this case for Ralph Yarl, who, again, is recovering at a hospital. Take a listen.
I realize that justice doesn't come overnight, but the fact that there's a kid in the hospital and everything I read says not even a charge has been done, that concerns me.
Something else that's worth noting, the police have held press conferences in this case, and in one particular press conference, the police chief was asked by reporters what kind of defense they expect to see in this case. And a reporter asked, could you see, for instance, a stand your ground defense? Missouri does have a stand your ground law, which has basically been used for self-defense, especially on a person's property, as you know. And the chief sort of said anything is possible in this case. That is a very big possibility in this case as well. And that's really upset a lot of people at those protests as well, because, again, as we've been told by the family, this boy basically rang the wrong doorbell. And that's what caused this to happen. Kate.
All right, NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa with us. Maggie, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.
So again, y'all, 16-year-old Ralph Yarl was going to pick up his twin brothers when he was shot twice. First time he was shot through the door. The bullet hit him in the head. I believe they said like close to the eye. And then once he was on the ground, he was shot again. So this baby, 16 years old, was shot twice. Let me say this. Trigger warning. But here's a picture of him in the hospital. So you see Ralph Yarl, this innocent 16-year-old who was confused. He knocked on the incorrect door. That did not warrant this baby to be shot twice. To me, and this is just me, I'm no lawyer, but you intentionally were trying to kill this young man when you shot him the second time because you opened the door. You fired through the door, through your glass door, hitting his baby in the head. Then you opened the door and you shot him again. So you can't tell me that was a stand your ground because you were not in fear of your life. This baby had no weapons on him, nothing. So I hope this stand your ground law shit does not work because it's a bunch of cockamamie bullshit. Let me just go on and say that. I think this is crazy. I think this is foolishness with this stand your ground because you were not in fear of your life. He was not trying to break into your home because this is what I'm gonna roll into that. But Mr. Lester said that this baby was trying to open his door, was trying to come into his home. Here you are with I get it. You're trying to, your little stand your ground angle, but when this baby told the story, when he gave his statement, that to me, what this baby said was a little more believable than what Mr. Lester said. Because the young man said, I wasn't trying to open the door. He said, I rang the doorbell and I stepped back and I waited. That's typically what people do. When people come and they knock on your door, they ring your doorbell, they ring it, and you step back. He wasn't trying to open the door like Mr. Lester said. So hence, they feel like there's a racial component in it. Let me know. If the roles were reversed, if this was a black man that shot a white child, do you think he would have been arrested that same night? Do you think they would have been waiting on a statement? We have to call this shit out for what it is, y'all. A lot of people, I get it. Y'all don't want to with the racial overtone, but when you hear what Mr. Lester said, maybe it'll change your way of thinking. Maybe you'll be like, you know what? It may be a little racial undertone on this. So let me jump into some of the comments because I want to keep this conversation going. So Kara says, there's no fucking defense. Exactly. So Robert says, especially since he was shot in the head. What kind of head injury? It could cause brain damage, which interferes with the coherent memory of the event. Get the fuck out of here. That's what Robert says. I'm right there with him. Hey, cousin. Good to see you, baby. So Kara says the PTSD that he is going to have. He rang the goddamn doorbell and stepped back. When I play the video, you're gonna hear and you're gonna be like, what this baby said is a little more believable. And then I don't know how true this is, but I hear they're trying to go with and say this man has dementia. I don't know how true that is. I have to verify with my sources to see if this is the way that they're going, but I have not heard it anywhere on social media. So KK says other Trayvon Martin situations. Absolutely. But this also takes me back to another story, y'all, that happened back in 2013. Similar situation that a young lady crashed her car. She went and knocked, and this happened in Detroit. And I'm going to roll the video. This happened in Detroit. Renisha McBride, 19 years old, she crashed her car. She went and knocked on a man's door. I believe they said it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. The man opened the door, shot with a rifle through out the door. He opened the door, shot with his rifle, and I believe he closed the door. Shot this young lady in the face. This is like deja vu all over it. And I've spoken about Renisha McBride. I've spoken about Rakia Boyd. And just, when is enough going to be enough? When is enough going to be enough? So are we shooting first and then asking questions later? Are we just automatically assuming, hey, someone's at my door trying to rob me and we're automatically shooting through the door? What if that's your child trying to get in the door? And you shoot your child. I've seen stories like that where parents have accidentally shot their children inside the home. I've seen this. So Kara says, that's not what stand your ground is. Absolutely. Because he was not in fear of his life. This baby had no weapons. He was not, there was no sign of forced entry. There's no evidence that even supports that this baby was trying to come into your home. You immediately, when you heard the knock on the door, you picked up your gun, you immediately fired through your glass door, hitting this baby in the head. Then you opened the door, you went out and you shot this baby again while he was on the ground. So your whole intent, sir, was to kill this baby. That was your whole goddamn attempt. So all that old stand your ground bullshit, throw that shit out with the fucking trash tomorrow. And I'm just gonna say it clear as day like that. Put that shit on the curb tomorrow with your trash. Or whatever day your trash runs, because that's bullshit. Period. And I'm just gonna see. So Kara says, how can it not be racial overtone? Black man, black kid, not happening. White man, white kid, not happening. Right. So it's like, again, you did not arrest this man the night it happened. You detained him. You let him go pending a statement from this young man, 16 years old. Never been in trouble. He is in honor band. He plays band. He plays the bass clarinet, and he runs track for the school. This baby was more in fear of you than you were of him. He was picking up his siblings, and this is how this baby looked. This is how you left him, Mr. Lester. He knocked on your damn door, for Christ's sake. I could see if he was trying to come in. But again, there was no sign of forced entry. There's no evidence to support that you were in fear of your life. But you knew exactly what you were doing. Because in that moment, when you shot through the door, Mr. Lester, you had a moment to think, because you opened the door and shot this baby again. So miss me with the bullshit. Miss me with the, oh, it's a stand your ground. No, it's not. You did this with ill intent. Period. This is what you did. You did it with ill intent. You did it. You did not do it because you were in fear of your life. Miss me with put the shit out on the curb tomorrow. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Put the shit out on the curb tomorrow, because I don't believe it for a second. I do not believe that you were in fear of your life. I don't care. This is Mr. Andrew Lester. This is him. This is him. This is who shot Ralph Yarl. This baby, look at this baby. I want y'all to look at this baby. This could be your child. This could be your neighbor's child. This could be a cousin. This could be a nephew. This, imagine this being your baby. That was just going to pick up his sibling. That's all he was doing. He wasn't in the act of trying to commit a crime. He wasn't in the act of trying to harm anybody, but innocently picking up his gun and was shot. I speak on this because I have a son who has had an encounter with the police and was deathly afraid to drive for 2 years. I've been that mom. So if I don't speak out on this and advocate, who else is gonna do it if I don't do it? Shout out to Missouri. I got to give them people a round of applause, because let me tell you something, that community came together for you, Mr. Ralph Yarl, to secure and make sure that Mr. Andrew Lester was arrested and charged with the shooting of 16-year-old Ralph Yarl. I say this with so much conviction and so much passion in my heart, because I'm sick of seeing this. I'm tired of doing stories about these young black boys that are not allowed to grow. Now you got to worry about knocking on the wrong door. You got to worry about pulling up in the wrong driveway now. We're still afraid of the police, but now we got to worry about just doing simple things now. This could get you killed for knocking on the wrong door, pulling in the wrong driveway, asking a question, going to a party. To get you killed. I remember back when I was coming up how safe the community used to be. And the way this community banded together and the way Miss Jody went out there and sat with Ralph Yarl until the ambulance came to get him, I commend her. That's what the village is supposed to be. The village is supposed to come together. You're supposed to look out for one another. You get what I'm saying? This is what you're supposed to do. This is what I tell y'all on every show that I do when I say we need the village. This is what I mean. This is what I mean when I say we need the village. Because the way this community came out, and it was all colors, white, black, Asian, Latino, was out there in support of this young man. They didn't look at this baby as this is a black boy. They looked at him as this could be my child. This could have been my baby knocking on somebody's door. This could have been my baby pulling up in the wrong driveway. Anything. They removed color out of the equation. But when it comes to you, Mr. Lester, it was definitely racially motivated. Because in that moment, you knew what the fuck you were doing. You knew after you shot through that door, you opened your door. Let me back up. You unlocked your door. You opened it when this baby was laying on the ground and you shot him again. So that is not stand your ground, Mr. Lester. So I'm going to need you to try something else, okay? Thank you. I'm going to need you to try something else. I'm going to need you to do something different. And if the court of law believes this bullshit, heaven forbid us, baby, because we are all fucking doomed. We are all doomed. If y'all believe that this was a stand your ground situation, because it wasn't. No evidence supports it. And when that young man gave his statement, he told y'all in the statement that this is how it happened. And the way Ralph Yarl explained to us what happened is more believable than what you said, Mr. Lester. You're full of shit. Eat some prunes. Okay. So KK says this happened too much. She said praying for that baby. Absolute. Absolute. Kendra says, I'm glad they decided to charge him. I'm glad too. But here's the kicker part, though. I ain't even gotten to the kicker part, y'all. So, yes, he's been charged. He's been arrested. Okay? So, Kara says, just being a responsible big brother. Absolute. Kara said, oh, he knew. Sick fuck. Exactly. You knew what you were doing. You were aware. You were conscious of what you're doing because, again, you shot through the glass door, hitting this baby in the head. You proceeded to unlock and open your door, and you fired again while this baby was laying on the ground. So someone tell me how that's stand your ground. I'm really just trying to make sense of it. I just want some understanding. Like, if am I overlooking something? Am I looking at this incorrectly? What? Y'all tell me. Does this sound like something like stand your ground? Because it absolutely, to me, it doesn't. Because again, there's no evidence that supports that you were in fear of your life. No force of no forced entry. The baby had no weapon on, no nothing. And this baby went to 3 houses, y'all, before someone decided to help. I forgot to put that in there. He went to 3 houses first before someone decided to help. This baby could have died had no one had helped. Then it was another neighbor that jumped the fence, y'all, and sat with baby Rob until the ambulance came in. So shout out to those neighbors that were proactive in saving this baby's life. Y'all know I'm a big old crybaby, but I'm gonna stand strong in this story tonight. I'm gonna stand strong tonight. Okay, all right. Well, here we go. Y'all check this video out, and y'all tell me what you think.
Tonight, we're getting answers about what happened before a teen was shot after going to the wrong house in Kansas City North. Good evening, everybody. I'm Chris Ketz. Here's what we know tonight. There's now an arrest warrant out for 84-year-old Andrew D. Lester, wanted on 2 felony counts, first-degree assault and armed criminal action. The Clay County prosecutor says Lester shot 16-year-old Ralph Yarl twice through his glass front door last Thursday night. Yarl accidentally went to the wrong house to pick up his siblings. He mixed up Northeast 115th Terrace and Northeast 115th Street. We continue our team coverage tonight. Our Peyton Headley is in that neighborhood where it all happened, talking with neighbors. But we begin with KMBC 9's Jackson Kurtz live outside the Clay County Courthouse in Liberty. Jackson, you've read through court documents. Did the prosecutor say why it took so long to file charges?
Well, Chris, Clay County prosecutors says before they were given the case from Kansas City police, more had to be done to charge Lester, like get a witness statement and lab results. The probable cause here gives us more of a glimpse into what happened that night when Ralph Yarl was shot. We now know that Andrew Lester arrived at KCPD headquarters that night to provide a statement. He told police that he had just laid down in his bed when he heard the doorbell ring. That's when Lester says he picked up his gun, a .32 caliber revolver, before getting to his door. Lester says he opened his interior door and saw a black man about 6 feet tall. That was Yarl trying to open his exterior glass door. He believed someone was trying to break in. He shot twice within a few seconds through the glass. Lester then says Yarl ran away and he called 911. Lester stated that no words were exchanged during the incident and said the shooting 16-year-old Ralph Yarl was the last thing he wanted to do, but he was scared. Now, Ralph Yarl also told police what he says happened that night as well. He says once he arrived at the home, he walked up to the door, pressed the doorbell, and had waited to answer. Yarl said it took a long time for the man to come to the door, but once he did, he had a firearm and he immediately shot him in the head and fell to the ground. Yarl says he was then shot a second time in the arm while he was on the ground. He told police he did not pull the door and ran away to keep from being shot. Now, Yarl says the man told him, "Don't come around here." Yarl then went to multiple houses to ask for help until someone finally called 911.
My message to the community is that in Clay County, we enforce the laws and we follow the laws, and that does not matter where you come from or what you look like or how much money you have. Everyone is held to the same standard.
Now, it is important to note that on the night of the shooting, Clay County Prosecutor's Office advised KCPD to release Lester pending further investigation. As we mentioned, they were still waiting for more things to charge him officially.
So y'all tell me, whose story is more believable? Ralph Yarl or Andrew Lester? I just there go my honey. Hey, babe. I hope you're having a good night at work. I love you. Kara says, I'm just as disappointed and disgusted with those piece of shit neighbors. What the fuck? Right. Right. So Kara says he's still not in custody. Let me go ahead and let me play this. Robert says looks pretty cut and dry to me. So again, it goes back to saying the way Ralph's statement was a little more believable. Because again, typically when you ring somebody's doorbell, you stand back. You just kind of lean back a little bit, or you kind of turn to the side to, wait on someone to open the door. You shot through the glass door. Then when the baby fell, you shot him again in the arm when he was on the ground. This baby mustered up the courage to get away. When I tell you, God had that baby wrapped so tight in his arms. 3 neighbors before someone finally called 911. So again, just imagine had no one answered that door. imagine, would this baby even still be alive? That's the question. Is would this baby even still be alive? Hmm. So, Kara, to answer your question, I'm gonna roll this for you.
Breaking news, 84-year-old Andrew Lester surrendered to Clay County Sheriff's deputies this afternoon. I'm Kelly Eckerman.
And I'm Laura Moritz. Lester has already posted bond and is out of jail. The Clay County prosecutor charged Lester with first-degree assault and armed criminal action. This is after he is accused of shooting 16-year-old Ralph Yarl Thursday night. Yarl was trying to pick up his younger siblings, but went to the wrong house.
This is all happening in Liberty, Missouri this afternoon.
And investigative reporter Matt Fleener has been there throughout the afternoon with all of these breaking details on the case. A lot of this happening just within the hour. Matt?
Laura, Kelly, that's exactly right. Very busy afternoon here in Liberty. First, we do want to tell you that Andrew Lester was booked into the Clay County Detention Center here in Liberty just after 1 o'clock. Shortly after, he actually did post bond. $200,000 bond is what he had. It comes as both local pastors and Ralph Yarl's family and Ralph Yarl's attorney met with the Clay County prosecutor today, one day after Lester was charged with 2 felony counts of armed criminal action and assault. We did get an update on Ralph's condition from his family attorney.
Ralph is still day to day. He is doing exceptionally well considering that he was shot point blank range in the face on Thursday. However, he is a young man who suffered very serious injuries and he's working his way through it.
And I did follow up and ask if he is expected to make a full recovery. There is good news that the family attorney said yes, Ralph Yarl is expected to make a full recovery. Obviously, a lot of emotional trauma with this as well. By the way, Lester, who did bond out, he's expected back in court here in Liberty tomorrow at 1:30. Live in Liberty, Matt Fleener, KABC 9 News.
Now, local civil rights leaders are planning to hold a rally for Ralph Yarl anytime now. We're going to monitor that situation and take you to that rally just as soon as it starts. Now, meanwhile, Yarl's aunt says he is doing okay under the circumstances, but that he does need to recover both physically and emotionally.
There's a major part of Ralph that died on Thursday. What Ralph went through, he lost a part of himself that day. I doubt Ralph is even 170 pounds. Ralph is not even 6 feet. Ralph, when you see Ralph in all of the pictures that you have seen on social media and everywhere else, I don't see how you see fear. I don't know how you can see fear when you look at that kid.
So you guys heard it yourself. You've heard it yourself. So Andrew Lester was arrested and has already posted a $200,000 bond. So he's out. He goes back to court tomorrow, though. He's out of jail, y'all. So he was arrested, posted bond, and will be back in court tomorrow. Kara says bullshit. Jules says he hasn't been arrested as of yet because he belongs to the Cauliflower congregation. But he was arrested, sis. But he posted a $200,000 bond. So what I don't understand, and maybe, again, I'm not an attorney, so I don't know how the laws work in Missouri. I know, all laws vary from state to state. But a $200,000 bond. $200,000. In most states, I believe it's the percentage is 10%. So 10% of 200,000. That's how much he had to pay to get out of jail. The community raised money, pastors, his family. I know they say innocent until proven guilty, but we know what you did. You just heard the aunt say he's not 6 feet tall. You just heard the aunt say He's not even 170 pounds. So who are you afraid of? What were you thinking? Like, I really want y'all to tell me how 2 + 2 = 5. Make this make sense to me. The family has told you. Do you realize the therapy that this baby is going to need once he recovers? This baby's going to have PTSD, everything. Anytime he hears gun, like it's going to set this baby off. So we have to pray for his well-being. We have to pray for peace over this baby's mental, because he's going to need intense therapy once he recovers, because he's never going to recover from this. He's always going to be afraid that if he knocks on the wrong door, that this is going to happen again. And you, Mr. Lester, you caused that with the facetious bullshit that you tried to play for people. You tried to say, "Oh, he was 60," but you heard what they said. You shot him through the door. You opened the door and you shot him again in the arm when he was laying on the ground. Again, how were you in fear of your life, sir? Make this make sense to me. Show me, Mr. Lester, where you were in fear of your life. I do not believe that this baby tried to open your door. I do not believe this child was trying to come into your house. I would feel the same way if this was a white child. So, Ralph, bless you, baby. My heart, when I tell you, and I'm looking at this from a mother's perspective, how this mother must be to get a phone call to be told that your baby's been shot because he went to the wrong address. Imagine it as a mother, as a father, as a sibling. Because these brothers, the twins that he went to go pick up, they may blame themselves. The mama may blame herself for telling him to go get the brother. We're parents. We're siblings. This could anybody. This baby. Bless his heart. Naya say she's with you, Kyra. She said that's some bullshit. Kyra say his whole family will need their absolute, because the brothers may say, well, if mommy would have never sent you to pick us up, mom may say, I never should have sent you to go get them. We have to pray for this baby's mental. Because see, when all these situations continue to happen, you're creating a bigger mental health problem that we have yet to tackle. That's a whole nother conversation. Mass shootings, you're creating a bigger problem. And we haven't even addressed or scratched the surface when it comes to mental health, because you know why? Because they put the funding for it. But that's a whole nother conversation. Y'all know I advocate for mental health because I am a person that suffers from depression and anxiety. I advocate for it. I encourage people, therapy, baby. Please get the help. Please go heal. I encourage them. But not only are we dealing with the gun violence, but now we're dealing with the mental trauma that comes along with it. So now we're trying to balance two situations at once. And we haven't even tackled the first one, gun control. We need stricter gun laws. But that's a whole, all I could say. Naya say, bless him, bless that baby. Absolutely. Absolutely. I know, girl. I know who it is. But it's Cara says, hi, Kenya. Oh, don't, Cara, I'm going to send you Kenya number. I'm going to send it to you. She told me I can give it to you. But we have a whole nother issue that we have to tackle now. Because, again, we're trying to deal with the gun violence, but now you're creating mental health issues. Whew. So, I want to move on. Let me wrap up with Ralph, and then I want to move on. And I want to talk about the Dadeville shooting. This happened Saturday. At a sweet 16 birthday party. Let's finish with Ralph. And then I want to move into that story. So Ralph's mother spoke. Here it is. We're gonna end this segment with that, and then I want to roll again into the Dadeville shooting, because this one here just absolutely broke my heart. Because again, you're not safe anywhere. You can't go to a party, you can't grocery stores, church. You can't even march and protest peacefully without some bullets. So here we are going to hear from Ralph's mom, and we're going to end the segment and move on into the Dadeville shooting.
The mother of a 16-year-old black boy who was shot after mistakenly going to the wrong house in Missouri says her son is receiving medical care at home and is doing considerably well. Meantime, prosecutors have filed first-degree assault charges against an 84-year-old white man.
Ralph was shot on top of his left eye, that I would say in the left frontal lobe, and then he was shot again in the upper right arm. He was shot, he had the bullet in the up here for about, let's say, up to 12 hours before it was taken out. So that injury is extensive, and the residual effect of that injury is going to stay with him for quite a while. He's home, but I want to remind everybody that Ralph is home because he's surrounded by a team of medical professionals. I'm a nurse for almost 20 years. His aunt is a physical therapy. His uncle is a medical professional. That's why he's home. So let's put that into perspective. Ralph is doing considerably well. Physically, mornings are hard, but his spirits are in a good place. I borrow from his spirits. He is in very good hands.
I came out today for support, of course. My children graduated from Staley High School, and so just hearing about the news about Ralph, my heart hurts, my heart breaks. Of course, the tragedy for our black children and the community is just heartbreaking. So I came out to support, and I really, really wanted to see the students, our students here at Staley High School, to activate their social action and justice, and to really just show the world and the community that we stand for truth, that we stand for righteousness, that we stand for justice, and we stand together in unity because we want our community to be healed, and we know that God is the ultimate healer in our community, but we really need to, as a nation, trust and rely on God to actually heal and redeem and to save us. So. We love you, Ralph. 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 Trauma is hard, trauma is tricky, trauma comes and goes, and don't really know how to navigate it unless you have, healthy professional adults to actually help you. So I believe the march is one step, is the first step, but the first step is actually acknowledging and just realizing like we are a hurting community now, and we will forever hurt because of this incident. But as long as we have people support of our community to actually help us to heal, I think they'll be okay.
Y'all, just looking at that, I felt the water pooling in the corner of my eyes because that's beautiful how the community, the school, the students came out and supported this young man. Ralph, when I tell you, baby, you have a plethora of people out here that love you, that are praying for you, praying for your family. We're absolutely praying for your mental, because I can only imagine what this baby is going. Kenya says, hi, Miss Cara. Jules says he has victimized this whole family, and I hate it for every one of them. Absolutely. Because you have caused a hurt that will never go away. You have scarred not only this young man, but his family with the careless decision that you made. Because you had a moment. You had a moment to stop and think. You had a moment to think about what you were doing. So, Mr. Lester, to you, I hope you are convicted, and I hope you are punished to the maximum extent of the law. I want you to sit in that, however big that jail cell is, and I hope this haunts you for the rest of your life. I'm just going to say, because you so innocently shot this young man in the heat of the moment, and then you tried to lie about it and say, "Oh, I was in fear of my life. Oh, he was trying to open my door." No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. The statement that Ralph gave, I believe that went over what you told the detectives about what happened. I feel like you should still be sitting in jail. I feel like your bond should have been higher than $200,000. But hey, again, I'm not the law, but Lord forbid if I was, baby, because you would not be out. But hey, you'll have your day in court, and trust and believe. If you don't have your day on earth, you definitely gonna have to account and stand up against God on Judgment Day. Trust me, because he sits high and looks low. You can't get nothing past him, because he sees you, and I promise you, he's gonna punish you for every pain that you have caused, not only to this young man but to his family. Your intent, regardless of what you say, you were trying to kill this baby because you knew what you were doing. You had a moment to stop and think, so you knew what you were doing. Anyway, enough of talking about that demon. But prayers to you, Ralph, from Black Girl Interrupted Podcast. I love you, baby, and everybody here and that's tuning in. We love you, and we're all praying for you. Okay, so now, y'all, this here, when I tell y'all this story, devastated. This was a sweet 16 birthday. Now, for those that don't know, on this, okay, so this happened on Saturday, y'all. So I do apologize that I got the two stories confused. This happened this past Saturday in Dadeville, Alabama, which is about an hour and maybe 15 minutes away from Montgomery, with a population of about 3,000 people. A young lady was having a sweet 16 birthday party when gunfire erupted. 32 people were shot, 4 have died, and 28 are still recovering from their injuries. Let me see. Kara says it should be attempted murder. So when I spoke with people that are in close connection with this, the charge that they gave him is like attempted murder. It's the highest because it is punishable by 25 years to life. As you know, Ralph Lester is 84 years old. He's not gonna make it. Let's just say that he's not gonna make it. He's not gonna last there. So that's considered uh attempted murder in the state of Missouri. And again, I can understand why they went that route, simply because you want to try to secure a conviction. You don't want to overcharge, because we see what happened in the Trayvon Martin case. They overcharged George Zimmerman, and guess what? George Zimmerman walked. He wasn't licensed to do anything. He was a rent-a-cop. He was top flight security, and they told him to stand down. Somebody was on the way. You decided to take matters into your own hands. You was getting Trayvon Martin was getting the best of you, and you're shot. So, yeah. So I'll keep everyone updated as this progresses. Again, Mr. Lester goes to court tomorrow. So I'll keep you posted with the update. So this Dadeville, Alabama shooting, as I was saying, happened in about an hour and 15 minutes away from Montgomery, Alabama, a Sweet 16 birthday party where gunfire erupted. 32 people were shot, 4 of which have passed away. Hold tight. For those that do not know the story, let me go ahead and get you caught up on the story, and then we're going to jump into the conversation about it. So hold tight.
Authorities in Alabama are still searching for whoever opened fire at a Sweet 16 birthday party over the weekend. The shooting killed 4 people and injured 32 others. It happened at a dance studio in the city of Dadeville. Officials say they have strong leads but have not released any details. Omar Villafranca is there with more on the victims of America's 162nd mass shooting so far this year.
I'm broken. My heart is just ripped out.
The sorrow is almost unbearable for LaTanya Allen. On Saturday, she was chaperoning her daughter Alexis's Sweet 16 birthday party at a small dance studio when shots rang out.
It was just a disaster. They were running, hollering, crying, everything, just hollering.
In the aftermath, her 18-year-old son, Phil Dowdell, was on the ground in a pool of blood. The high school senior was set to graduate next month. A star under the Friday night lights, Dowdell was headed to play football on Saturdays for Jacksonville State. But this Saturday night, number 7 became another number, the latest victim of a mass shooting, with his little sister and mother by his side.
He was trying to say something, but by that time he couldn't say nothing else, and he stopped breathing.
Another high school senior, 17-year-old Shankivia Smith, was also killed, along with 19-year-old Marcia Collins and 23-year-old Corbin Holston, who reports say did not attend the party but went to check on a younger family member. The community came together at a vigil last night. Daquan Doss knew Phil Dowdell since kindergarten.
I was standing right beside him. That thing, the shoe went on. I think he went right into it. I went opposite way. I wish I could have pulled him out.
Alexis says her big brother's final act was to protect her from the gunfire. You told me your brother grabbed you by the waist and pushed you down. Mm-hmm. Did your brother save your life?
Yes. If it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'll be. I don't know if I would still be standing here today if he would never save my life.
The mother, LaTanya Allen, was also shot twice. She told me she still has a bullet stuck in her side and in her leg. She told me she's going to be fine. Her focus now is on finding the killers and planning her son's funeral. John?
Omar, we understand the family told you there was some incident earlier in the party. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to Alexis and her mother, and they said that there was rumors swirling in the party that someone may have flashed a gun. Well, the mother, LaTanya, did what any mother would do. She literally stopped the party, turned the lights on, quieted the music, and told everyone, if you are over 18, you need to get out. If you're over 18 and you have a gun in here, you need to get out. And then she left the lights on. So, of course, the kids are looking around going, okay, what's going on? She warned them, but then things calmed down and things went on their way. And later on the night, there was a shooting.
Omar, tell me about this community. You know, these things just wreck entire communities. What do we know about this one?
Well, this is Dadeville, Alabama. When you hear small town USA, this is what they're talking about. This is the type of place that on the water tower, they put the name of the high school, home of the Dadeville Tigers. I'm looking at it right now. happened right behind me here, right here on Main Street, where you see these old buildings that have been around since the early 1900s. It used to be the old bank. Well, now it's a dance studio where kids come and take dance lessons, and it's also rented out. People here are in shock. I mean, there was a vigil last night. They can't believe it happened. It happened here. And then talking to some of the kids who were there, I said, you know, are there guns in this community? And they said, this is not a place where we think, oh no, there's going to be gun violence. So when this happens, it's absolutely frightening. It makes them think, yeah, it can happen anywhere. And it did on Saturday night.
It seems like there's no here in which it cannot happen. Omar Villafranca in Dadeville, Alabama. Thank you, Omar.
Thank you.
For generations, American children and their parents have worried about bullies, social pressures, and grades. In recent years, gun violence has joined that list for many people. According to our last CBS poll, 3 out of 4 parents in the U.S. are concerned about possible gun violence at their children's schools. That number is up slightly from the last time we asked that question last summer. And how to deal with it? More than 60% of Americans are in favor of a nationwide ban on AR-15 style semi-automatic rifles. It's the type of gun used in the school shootings in Nashville and Uvalde. Students and parents took that message to the National Mall in Washington Monday for a Save Our Students gun protest. They are calling on Congress to ban assault weapons.
Whew. Here we go. Here we go. So, again, thank y'all for tuning in to Black Girl Interrupted podcast tonight. For those that are just tuning in, I am addressing the Dadeville, Alabama shooting. For those that don't know, a young lady had a sweet 16 birthday party in which 32 people were shot, 4 people have died, and the other 28 are recovering from their injuries. So, hold on, give me 1 second. Okay. So Jules says there has been 162 mass shootings this year alone. Jesus, this is heartbreaking. Actually, sis, that number has increased. I believe it's 164 now. Um, if you include the shooting in Louisville, Kentucky, and if you add this birthday party that just passed on Saturday in Dadeville, Alabama. Cara says that's exactly what I was thinking, Jules. So I'm gonna really try to hold my emotions in because this here is so devastating. One young man, 2 of the students, I'm so sorry, 2 of the young men. Hold on, let me post their pictures. Let me go back to their pictures. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, so the young man in the 2 men at the top. Let me move this banner out of the way. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. So the 2 young men at the top were weeks away from graduation. The young man in the upper left corner was had been accepted into LSU and was just weeks away from graduation. The gentleman in the bottom left corner wasn't even at the party. He went to go check on a family member that had attended the party and lost his life. Then you have this young lady right here, 17 years old, Miss Kiki, that lost her life out trying to have fun and celebrate her friend's sweet 16. When is enough going to be enough? Are we going to, at what point, let me ask y'all this, at what point are we going to get tired of this? At what point are we going to get tired of reporting these stories? At what point of time are we going to get sick and tired of these mass shootings? Something needs to be done. Again, we're not safe anywhere now. I remember church used to be the safest place. You can't go to church. You can't go to the movie theaters. You can't knock on somebody's door. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go out and march and protest. And then you're not even safe in your own home. Without fear of someone coming. Where are we? What can we do, y'all, because I want to see our children grow up. I'm tired of every time I turn on the news, it's a mass shooting. What was that, last week, week before last? We had the shooting in Louisville, Kentucky. You can't even tell people that they're fired. You're not safe at your job. Then we had the school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee. I remember the Columbine shooting. I remember the shooting in the movie theater when the Joker was it, the Batman movie came out and the guy dressed up like a Joker and went into the movie theater and shot those people. I remember Sandy Hook. These babies whose lives, some haven't even began, some are just getting started. In so violent, so unjust, and no one's wanting to do anything about it. Do I feel like there needs to be a ban on assault rifles? Absolutely. Because what I need to know, and maybe someone could correct me, what the hell do you need with an AR-15 in your house? What for? What war are you going to fight? Somebody get me together. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong for feeling that way. But I don't feel like you need an assault rifle in your home. You're not going out to the war. Do I believe in the right to bear arms? Absolutely. But there needs to be some stipulations. There needs to be stricter gun laws. There needs to be some type of gun control because, again, this is only April the 18th, y'all. We are only 4 months and 1 day into 2023, and we have had 164 mass shootings. That's almost a mass shooting every day. That's almost 1 to 2 shootings. 164. Y'all do the math. In 4 months, 106. Let me repeat this one more time. In 4 months, 164 mass shootings. 4 months. I'm definitely afraid to see what the next 4 months are going to look like. We have to get control of this. Congress, you need to do something. Joe Biden, you and Kamala Harris, nappy head ass, y'all need to get up here and y'all need to do something about this. Because guess what? These children are no longer being allowed to grow. And with the increase in gun violence, what did I tell y'all it was causing? You're creating an additional trauma that we have yet to address. And that's mental health. You're creating bigger issues. You haven't even taken care of one, but you're creating another one. Let me say this, you're escalating another situation y'all have yet to get control over. Yeah. So you have these 16 and 17-year-old children having a good time at a party. And this is why I encourage whenever you have a party, y'all need to have some type of security there. But again, this is a little small town, and maybe they didn't expect anything like this to happen. But you always have to be prepared for the inevitable. You have to be. When you have parties like this that are not supervised by security or something like that, like, you gotta have that. There were threats. Reports, someone say, oh, they had a gun. Kara says, our babies are literally not safe anywhere. And they're not. We can't send them to school for fear someone may come in. You can't go to the mall. You can't go to the movies. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go to church. Where the hell can we go? Where can we go? What's safe? There's no confidence in the protection of our children? Are we going to even get to see our babies grow? You look back at Sandy Hook, all those babies that lost their. Look at Uvalde. The Nashville, all these mass shootings. But y'all are more worried about abortion law. Y'all are worried about procreation. Y'all want to ban abortion, but you don't want stricter gun control laws. Make it make sense to me, America. Y'all let me know how that makes sense to you. You're more concerned with trying to tell a woman what she can and cannot do with her body, but you're not concerned with protecting the lives of our children that could be future congressmen, future presidents, future doctors, lawyers, whatever, that are in there. And you don't care about that. You're more focused on who's gay and who's not. You're more focused on, hey, you're a woman, but I want to take your rights away. But we've got a bigger issue, America. We've got a bigger issue. Gun control. We have a bigger issue. Jules says, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're continually offering condolences and prayers to loved ones. This shit has to stop. Absolutely. Kara says, my husband is a 2-time war vet and a hunter. He even says there's no reason for assault weapons. We are at not war with fellow Americans, especially not kids. These babies are innocent. 2 of these children were getting ready to graduate and go off to college. But that was snatched away from them. Jules says it starts at home. It's time for these parents to take control of the kids at home. Stop being your kid's friend and be their damn parent. Let's start there. Enough is enough. And I'm right there with you because that's part of the problem. Because a lot of parents feel like there's nothing wrong with their children. The red flags are there, but you choose to overlook them. But then too, Jewel, I want to double back on another shooting that happened in Missouri where the parents did try to get help. And you know what? They took the assault weapon from him, but somehow he managed to get it back. She begged for someone to help her son. But no one did. And her son went to the school with an assault rifle and shot and killed 3 people. And this was, I want to say, St. Louis, just a few months ago, maybe 6, 7 months ago. So what do we do now? When the parents do try to step in and try to take control, what do we do then? Jewel says exactly, Kara. Kara says, yes, Jewel. Kara says, don't even get me started on abortion. Absolutely, because baby, I could go on and on about that, but I want to address this when it comes to gun control. Really? Y'all are more concerned with shit that doesn't even need to be concerned about. And we've had 164 mass shootings 4 months into 2020. 164. That's a lot. In 4 months, 30 days in January, 28 days in February. So that's 58 days right there. Then you what? March has 31 days. So that's what? 86? 86 days. And then we're only 18 days into April. So 86 plus 18, that's what, 106? So we've had more mass shootings than we've had days in this year. 4 months in, and we've had 164 mass shootings. 160. I'm gonna play this last video as we wrap up as we continue to wrap up the conversation with regards to the Dadeville, Alabama shooting. But keep dropping in the comments. What can we do to get this banned? Here we go. Hold tight.
The Nashville shooting is again raising the issue of gun control and calls for an assault weapons ban in America. Many Republican lawmakers point to mental health issues as the cause of the growing violence. Democrats say common sense gun control is needed. It's clear that a compromise will be difficult to reach.
Our John Finolio is live in the KTLA News Center with a look at the all too familiar reaction to mass shootings like the one in Nashville. John?
Cher and Micah, polls show a majority of Americans support federal gun control laws. However, lawmakers remain deadlocked in a debate that is as familiar as the shootings themselves.
Lord, when babies die at a church school, it is time for us to move beyond thoughts and prayers.
Senate Chaplain Barry Black delivering a rare and pointed opening prayer Tuesday, taking aim at lawmakers following the nation's latest mass shooting. President Biden again calling on Congress to pass an assault weapons ban, among other gun reform measures.
There's a moral price to pay for inaction. So I again call on Congress to pass the assault weapons ban. Pass it. It should not be a partisan issue. It's a common sense issue. We have to act now. And people say, why do I keep saying this if it's not happening? Because I want you to know who isn't doing it, who isn't helping, to put pressure on them.
But there appears to be little appetite for change in the Republican-controlled House. In the Senate, at least 10 Republicans would have to join Democrats to pass any kind of reform.
If you had an assault weapons ban, I wouldn't vote for it, but bring it up if you think that's the fix.
The GOP accusing Democrats of trying to politicize the massacre. Tennessee Senator Bill Hagerty saying this.
Politics in Washington always seizes upon any crisis.
And Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett telling reporters, quote, "We're not going to fix it. Criminals will be criminals." And when asked what else should be done to protect people like his own young daughter at school, Burchett saying, quote, "Well, we homeschool her. That's our decision. Some people don't have that option."
Our thoughts are with the families of the victims, with the community. We are grateful for the quick, rapid response of law enforcement. And I think with respect to any discussion of legislation, it's premature.
Democrats blasting Republicans, arguing they care more about preserving access to assault weapons than protecting children.
This is uniquely American, and the people of this country have to ask themselves a basic question. Had enough? I mean, this is madness. To think that some people rationalize this as part of the Second Amendment is beyond me.
The killings must be stopped, and we know the answer. The ban on assault weapons.
Survivors say enough is enough.
I have been lobbying in D.C. since we survived a mass shooting in July. I have met with over 130 lawmakers. How is this still happening? How are our children still dying, and why are we failing them? Gun violence is the #1 killer of children and teens.
Following last year's massacre at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, that killed 21 people, mostly children, lawmakers did pass a modest bill that improved some background checks and provided billions of dollars for school security and mental health services. But with a divided Congress, any new movement on gun reform is unlikely. Cher, Micah, back to you.
John, thank you.
Let me take a deep breath, because let me tell y'all, that comment that gentleman made when he said, "Oh, I homeschool my daughter. Some people don't have that option." Then make it accessible for parents to homeschool their children. But that's not going to curtail the problem. You homeschool your children, then what? You think that's going to automatically stop these mass shootings? Absolutely not. You need stricter gun control laws. You need stricter laws when it comes to guns. We definitely need the ban on assault rifles, period, point blank. Because again, what do you as a civilian need with an assault rifle? Who in the hell are you going to war with? That's the $1,000,000 question. That's what I want to know. So Jules says a lot has changed, but one thing that never changes is the fact that the streets has never stopped talking. Someone has mentioned you that your kid is out there living that life, but you just ignore it. Yeah. And then too, sis, you do have some parents that do try to be proactive when it comes to this. Again, just a reference to the young man that in St. Louis, Missouri, that shot 3 people. Mom reached out to the police. The assault rifle was taken. Uh, Somehow the young man managed to get this assault rifle back, and it was legally bought, and went and killed 3 people in St. Louis, Missouri. So I just this is my question. Stricter gun law. Will this curtail the problem, and what can we do to help? I say this on every show. When I speak in regards to this, you got to get out there. You got to vote. And I don't mean just for the president. You got to get out there and vote. It starts at the bottom. We have to start from the bottom and work our way to the top. You have to make some noise. You have to allow your voice to be heard. If you could stand in line, and I'm going to say this all the time, if you could stand in line and buy iPhones, you could buy Jordans and whatever unnecessary shit. If you could go stand in Walmart and Target line on Black Friday, you can go take your ass to somebody's poll and you could vote for things like this. You could vote for this to be put on the table. Start going to your town hall meetings. Start going to your city council meetings. Start going to these. My mind just completely went blank. But start getting out there and going and allowing your voice to be heard. You have to let the world know that your voice matters. You have to know that you're out here protecting the rights of not only you but your children. Don't you want to see your children grow up? Because at the rate we're going, we're not going to see our babies grow up. We have to become a part of the solution and less of the problem. We see Sleepy Joe has been begging Congress. We need to get out there and we need to allow our voices to be heard. Do I think that will curtail the problem? Yeah, if we had stricter gun laws. I think there needs to be background checks, intensive background checks. I think anyone that has a record of having any type of mental illness, I do not believe you should be allowed to have a weapon. I just do not believe that. I feel like you need to be able to take some I can't even think of a mental I can't even think of the word, y'all. My mind is so blank right now. But I think your mental yeah. If you have a history of seizures, I don't feel like you should be able to carry a weapon. They say if you have seizures, you're not allowed to drive a car, but you can go get a gun. Make it make sense to me, y'all. Make this math add up to me. Because again, it's not making sense. It's making zero sense to me because my children or their children may not grow. We may not get to see them grow. So Kara says, what do other countries do? This is literally only in America. Other countries protect their kids at all costs. Absolutely. But America doesn't care. And then Kara says if they do get the chance to grow up, they will be riddled with anxiety and trauma. Which brings me to this right here. As gun violence reaches record levels in the U.S. and underlying trauma may be building up. Again, when it comes to mental illness, we haven't even tackled mental health. We haven't even tackled the increased rate, the suicide rate that is increasing daily. We haven't even tackled that. I just read a story, I want to say maybe a week or about 2 weeks ago, a little girl in Philadelphia killed herself in the bathroom. And she wrote a letter and told him she was being bullied. At 8 years old, these children should not be dealing with this type of stress and trauma. But as we deal with this gun violence, again, 164 mass shootings, and we're only 4 months into 2023. We're only 4 months in and 164 mass shootings. That means that's what? 2 or 3 a day? But we still haven't tackled mental health. So we can't win for losing. What do we do, y'all? What can we do? Let me know. I'm all on board because I'm going to do whatever I can to protect my children, protect your children, protect your children's children. We have to bond together. Something has to be done. Something has to be done because you've created one problem and you're escalating and hiding another problem. And that's mental health. That y'all just really just don't seem to give a damn about. It's like y'all don't care. You care, y'all are concerned, not y'all as the people, but I'm saying the Congress and these elected officials, you care more about a woman's reproductive organ and less about saving the lives of these children who are future doctors, lawyers, presidents, surgeons, astronauts, physicists. We don't know. But if y'all don't do something about it, we're never going to get a chance to see. And that's the most disheartening part with all of this. Again, where are we safe? Where are we safe? Let me take a deep breath on that. Let me take a deep breath on that one because, y'all, let me just go into my final thoughts. Because if I sit here too deep in thought, I'm going to get too emotional and I'm going to start crying. And I don't want to start crying because I want to end this on a happy note. So as I go into my final thoughts for tonight, I want to first say I love y'all. And whatever it is that you're going through, I pray that it gets better. I pray that you are able to come out of your storm. I want to say that first and foremost. Secondly, I want to send an abundance of prayers to the victims whose lives were lost in Dadeville, Alabama. I want to send my thoughts and prayers to the family of Ralph Yarl. I want to send my thoughts and prayers to the family of the lost loved ones in Louisville, Kentucky. I want to absolutely send my love and prayers and condolences to the city of Nashville, Uvalde, Columbine, Sandy Hook. When is this going to be? I ask you to take a stance and protect your children, protect our future, protect the next generation, because they may not live long enough to create another generation. Where are we ever going to be? Every day we see and we hear this on the news. Every day we're offering prayers and condolences. But these keep happening on your clock, Congress. Ban assault rifles. We don't need them. No one's going to war. No one's going to fight in a war. I think the money, let me say this, the money that y'all are sending to the Ukraine, you need to put back over here in the United States. You need to put that towards mental health because these children are definitely going to need it. You're paying for a war that doesn't even involve us. You need to first take care of home before you go and you take care of someone else. I pray that before I leave this world, that there's some type of resolution. I pray for my children, and I pray that my grandchildren or great grandchildren, great grandchildren, I pray that my children are allowed to grow. I pray that your children are allowed to grow. I pray that your children will be able to enjoy being children and not have to be on edge every time they go to the movies, every time they go to a birthday party, whenever they go to the mall. Hell, even being scared to go to school. It's traumatizing enough that you got to deal with bullying and all the people on social media. But now you got to be on high alert and pray that no one comes and shoots up the school. You got to stay on high alert and pray that no one shoots up the next birthday party. Children are too young for this stress and they don't deserve that. So let's keep praying for the lives that were lost in these 164 mass shootings. And let's pray for some type of peace from today going. And those are my final thoughts for tonight. Woo-hoo, yes! Oh God, y'all. So let me just give you a quick glimpse of upcoming episodes for Black Girl Interrupted. So yes, tonight we were supposed to talk about women and your selfish ways in these relationships, but it was on my heart that I had to discuss the shooting of Ralph Yarl as well as the Dadeville Alabama shooting at the Sweet 16 birthday party. But I promise you, this Thursday we are talking about relationships. Unless something else pops up that I feel like is important, then I can push the relationship conversation back to a whole nother day. But this coming Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be talking about women. Why do you keep running away, good men, with your selfishness? Like, you need to stop. This is why half of y'all gonna end up single, baby, because you know what, y'all cuts up with these men. Baby, y'all need to stop. Like, you keep saying you want a good man, but when you're good at good man, you keep running them off. And I can only attest for me, because baby, let me tell you something. I almost ran my fiance off, but guess what? He be sticking it out with your girl. He be ready to put me in a chokehold, but hey, he sticks beside me and he works with me. He understands I'm still a little rough around the edges, but guess what? I think that's what he loves the most about me, even though I know he's not watching and he'll watch later. But I love you, honey, and I appreciate you. But that's what we're talking about Thursday. We're gonna be talking about relationships. Like, that's what we jumping into. Like, man, like, this is a much needed conversation with regards to relationships. Kara says, as a teacher, I was scared to death of school shootings. I had my own plan of protecting the kids that administration did not agree with. When a 6-year-old can bring a gun to school, no one is safe. Do you hear me? And that takes me back to the young boy that intentionally shot the teacher. And no charges are being filed against the child. Go figure. Go figure. Go figure. Nothing's being done. So Robert says, was nice being here with you again. Just ended my shift. Yes, I'm still working nights. I know it. But you know what? You got to make that money, honey. That's what you got to do. You got to make that money. So I ain't mad at you. Do you hear me? I'm definitely not mad at you, okay? Make that cash. Don't forget, send me an email. Here, let me post my email real quick. Oh, my God, is that my sis? Hey, girl, I love you so much, girl. Oh, Tony. I need to call you tomorrow, okay? I need to call you tomorrow because I need to get you on this panel that we putting together for May. So I need to get with you tomorrow because I definitely want you on this panel. I promise you. Because, baby, I want you on the panel. I do. I do. So I'm making myself a reminder to call you tomorrow. I love you so much. I miss you. We got so much catching up to do. But, Robert, let me post my email. Please send me an email. Please, please, please. Pretty, please send me an email. Where did my email go, y'all? I had it. Here it goes. Right there. There's my email. Robert, send me an email so we can set up a time that works for you and me so we can talk, because I want you on this relationship panel too, because I know you're going to bring the smoke to the table, and I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it because I think it's going to get a little spicy on that. But we're setting it up for May. We haven't confirmed the date just yet. Well, we have, but email me so I can fill you in on the logistics, and we'll just go from there. But um, on another note, if you are interested in being a guest on Black Girl Interrupted, here is the email. Please send me an email. Please allow me 24 to 48 hours. I'm sorry, 24 to 72 hours to respond. I definitely want to set up a Zoom meeting or a team meeting, a Google Meet meeting, whatever meeting works for you, to work out what episode I would love, that you would love to be a guest on. If there's even a topic that you want your girl to address, if it's something that I don't know, because again, we don't hear about the news um in different states, but if it's something you want me to bring to the table, send me an email, Black Girl Interrupted 1. I promise you will get a response from me within 24 to 72 hours. I do try to respond to all the emails on Saturday. So um shoot me an email. Let me know what topic you want to talk about. If it's something you need me to address, if it's something that came across and you like, Ashley, I know only you could talk about this because you have no filter. Drop me an email. Again, if you want to be a guest on the show, if it's something you want to bring to the table, and you only feel comfortable with speaking to me about it, and you want to put it out here, let me know, babe. I'm open to everything. I'm open to all types of collaborations. Because hey, we all got to heal and work together. That's the only way we're gonna be able to do it. So let me respond to a couple of more comments, and then I'm gonna bring this to a close, baby. Uh, my sister says, I'm gonna put you in a choke. She said, I'm gonna put you in a chokehold if you keep playing with my brother. I know it, girl. I know it. I'm trying. He just like he be getting me together, y'all. He be getting me together, baby. My sis gave me buku heart. Shout out to my baby Tony. Let me tell y'all need to connect with her. 'Cause let me tell y'all that Tony, girl, you rough, baby, and I love it. But I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Kara, so the panel is a relationship panel. So it's gonna be a discussion amongst men and women. We as women, we're gonna sit and we're gonna listen to what men like and don't like that we do in relationships. And we have to respect that. And with the men, we're gonna be talking and letting them know what we like and what we don't like in relationships and the things that we need to do better to fix relationships. Communication is key. Uh we have to start learning how to fight fair because a lot of us don't know how to fight when it comes to relationships. We always want to hit below the belt because guess what? I want you to hurt the same way I hurt. And at the same time, you can't keep asking for a good partner if you keep putting out toxic energy. Okay? Okay? You can't keep punching your man in the gut when he's down and then get upset when he's not talking to you. Okay, ladies? And you fellas, you have to stop putting your woman down. You have to learn her love language. You have to stop trying to be so quick to throw in a towel when you're not understanding her love language. So that's what the panel is going to be about, Miss Carrie. It's going to get a little tense because this is actually going to be I think we decided on like a 6-day panel because we're going to do 2 days for women to talk, and then we're gonna have 2 days for the men to talk, and then we're gonna do another 2 days where we bring the children in because we want the children. We want to understand when it comes to the children because our relationships affect our children because our children are watching. So we have to create healthy boundaries when it comes to relationships. We have to know when it's time to walk away because we know cooler heads always prevail. So that's what we're gonna be talking about. Cause I'm all here for shaking the table, baby. Cause some of you women, mm-hmm, y'all don't be want to take accountability, baby. Y'all be trying to blame the man when really sometimes you need to look in the mirror, cause it really sometimes be you, cause you not healed. Y'all keep saying, "Oh, we're single cause we're not dealing with no bullshit." No, you haven't fully healed, and you want that man to carry your bullshit for you, and he's not doing it. So we're addressing that, and vice versa. Men, mm, y'all need to heal too. Because guess what? We're not tolerating the bullshit no more. Period. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Because we going where the money resides. So Robert says, email is done. Tony's laughing at me and she's talking about yes. So on that note, y'all, I just want to say this. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love the support that y'all give me on each and every episode. I love the beautiful discourse, the dialogue. Y'all know I live for that. And let me say this: anyone that is a guest on my show, I do not tolerate disrespect. I'm not gonna let anybody disrespect you on my show because they bet I pack bitches up like trips to Miami for a BBL. Do you hear me? I come with all the smoke and I stay ready. Y'all not playing with nobody on my show because y'all know it's safe here. Y'all know I don't do drama. Y'all not gonna bring it here. So I just want to let anyone that's gonna be a guest on my show, you're safe. It's a safe space. We're not letting no negativity penetrate where my realm of peace is being created. So on that note, again, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget, Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be talking about women and you running away good men with your selfishness and your selfish behavior. Don't forget, you can catch Black Girl Interrupted. You can catch me on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. I am on TikTok. I'm available where you listen to all your podcasts. I'm on Google, Spotify. Baby, I'm everywhere, okay? iHeart, Deezer. Hell, I even stream all the way to India, y'all. And I done got all the way to Australia now. So y'all tap in with your girl. Thank you so. Oh, thank you, baby. It's so good to see you too. She says, Amen. And of course, baby, I love you too, Carrie. You know, I got your back, baby. You know, we got to deal with the rigmarole in the morning. But guess what? Like I told you, we're gonna make it tomorrow. It's gonna be a better day. You already know I got your back. Robert says, respect is given, disrespect is earned. Absolutely. So, Robert, I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna respond to your email because again, I want to get the logistics worked out with you. We're getting this panel together. Again, I want it to be at least 5 or 6 men, and we're gonna get 5 or 6 women, and it's just gonna be a beautiful, healthy. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord, where did it go? Okay, there we go. Y'all, my apologies. But it's just gonna be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. My baby was calling y'all. A beautiful conversation, great dialogue, and maybe we'll leave with some type of love and understanding. So on that note, I love y'all, and I'm gonna see y'all Tuesday. Don't forget 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, same place. Love y'all, and I'm gonna see you Thursday. Have a good night. Bye. You ain't gotta go home, but y'all gotta get up out of here. 'Cause guess what? I got to go too. Love y'all. See you later.